Okay, the stream might just drop down for a little bit there, but it should come up. If you're having any problems viewing it, try refreshing the stream. I think the entire 600 gamers worth of people just dropped out of their internet connection for a second. Then perhaps someone's torrents kicked in because it's now 1 AM.
Could have been mine. Let's just make sure it wasn't.
Axis single-handedly bringing down RFLAN, and now Windrunner didn't manage to drop a ward up there because she discovered that the entire Yes Tidehunter team have decided to start roaming around in their own jungle, obviously, of trying to avoid her placing some wards.
Radiant on one side, Dire on the other.
I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to seeing a Shadow Fiend played. I haven't seen one all tournament. JoY seemed a little bit confident in their picking of her when they mentioned it earlier. They hinted at sort of taking him. I'm really interested to see how he pans out.
Alright, apparently Dota TV sound is a little iffy. Hopefully I've tweaked the microphone a little bit and hopefully that fixes it up. Let me know. There'll be a 2-minute delay, so let me know if that gets fixed up in 2 minutes time. It possibly went a little funny because of the lag spike, so try closing the game if you're watching it from Dota TV and restarting it again as well.
We've also, the StarCraft comp has finished from next to us and they were a little bit noisy earlier on, so hopefully we get a little bit less background noise now.
That is true. So Luna's actually switched this around again, obviously realising they were going to run Luna solo against this Wombo combo lane, and they've put her on the top lane solo now against a Windrunner, and she shouldn't have too much of a hard time of it. She does have that short range, but should be alright with that ring of protection to tank up a few right clicks. And Shadow Fiend down on this bottom lane. Lifestealer running the tri-lane with the Leshrac and a telekinesis. So there's a lot of stun on this bottom lane and two very hard hitting heroes. We see a disruption already up on the Rubik. Telekinesis tries to go out. Leshrac stun does hit one. Lifestealer is going to right click. Shadow Fiend gets the first blood on the Rubik. And Lifestealer trying to get a trade off by killing out the Shadow Demon. Good Lena stun there. Light Strike Array hitting down, and Shadow Fiend with that right click. Leshrac stun does hit the Lena though. Lifestealer going to get away with his health, but there's a Light Strike away, and those right clicks from that Shadow Fiend at the level 1 hit level 2 now, hitting so hard. Oh, the raise misses, and Leshrac limping away with 5 health.
Now they've done quite well there to keep themselves alive. They both went down to nearly nothing, but now the Rubik's back, so they can possibly try and get something back on them here. Now they both have vision on that side of the jungle there, so now the Luna's having a bit of a hard time up top.
Yeah, she's had to use a salve up there and a tango already, so Windrunner doing a good job of harassing her out and using her stun in terms to try and oh, what's happened to Magnus?
He's coming in with a haste room.
Haste room, telekinesis up. He kind of mistimed that coming in. He tried to get around behind them, but actually just ran into them. So haste room decides to charge back to his lane. He looks so funny when he's got a haste room. That's entertaining.
I've always wondered if animals with 4 legs run with 1 leg on each side going at the same time, or with 2 legs at the front and 2 legs at the back running.
I'm not a herbivore expert, so I can't actually comment on that one. Perhaps one of the viewers can Google that for us and help me figure that one out. Luna getting a little bit of a harass out on the Windrunner here. They're just trading right clicks at the moment. Nyx Assassin in the mid lane. Interesting mid lane here. He's going to get a very early level 6, which is good. He'll be able to get those ganks off and cause a little bit of problems for this tri lane down the bottom, I think.
The Shadow Fiend is leading the way with the last hits and denies, which is not...
Oh, Nyx dropping very low to skewer to Shockwave there. Salves up. And another Shockwave breaks the salve, so he's dropping very low, getting harassed pretty hard by this Mag. He's already running his bottle, so having a slightly better time of it. Lena's stun on the Rubik, but the telekinesis throws Lena on top of the Lifestealer. He's going to right click at her. Shadow Fiend comes in, trying to save her life. Disruption's already been used, so there was no saving her, and she does drop down to the Lifestealer.
The Shadow Fiend's doing a bit of damage at the moment. He's got 2 levels up in his Necromancy, so he's actually got a few souls captured. But yeah, no, he's still not doing enough to force that Nyx to back off.
Magnus has just bottled and activated his double damage rune on the mid lane there, so might be trying to get a pick off on this Nyx Assassin before he hits level 6 and can get away. Possibly pops that fairly early with his bottle. Surprised he didn't wait to use it. Element of surprise and all. And Nake's not having the best farm on this tri lane compared to the game we saw him previously. I mean, he does have two very good supports with their stuns here, but likewise, this defensive tri lane is just doing a good job of giving their Luna, giving their Shadow Fiend the space he needs to farm.
Okay, we've got the Nyx coming in now. He's level 6, he's invis.
Vendetta up and he goes straight for the Shadow Fiend and he drops him 3 hits after that Impale goes out.
And that Shadow Demon is awfully low, but we've got a quick TP in from Magnus.
The lightning will go out and there's a shockwave to try and force them back. He's just right-clicking on the Nyx. No one's got any mana out of these two heroes. But,
and he's not even 6 yet, so there's no chance of the RP to...
Yeah. And he, can't skewer, doesn't have enough mana, so good pick off on the Shadow Fiend there by the Nyx, and he's going to head back to the mid by the river. Meanwhile, on our top lane, Luna looking very low. She's on about a 3rd health. Windrunner just harassing her up there. And they're looking fairly even on last hits as well, 23 to 21. Shadow Fiend sitting at the top of the board there with 24 last hits, but that last death would have hurt him quite a lot there, slowing down him getting those souls up. Lifestealer, fair way down on 11 to 4. He's just sitting with his poor man shield and having to get pushed back again. He's out of regen, as are his supports, so they can't even give him a tango or anything to help him get back. Meanwhile, Shadow Fiend running the magic stick, so he's got enough mana to sort of just carry on farming here.
The Magnus is coming towards the bottom lane, checking out that room, but he's just missed out the Nyx picked up the illusion rune.
Yep. And Luna getting pushed right past the tower. She's on 40 health, Windrunner harassing her all the way back and not taking any damage itself. So
Nyx is sending one of his illusions up to be a little bit sneaky behind the Windrunner in the top lane.
Yep. And there's just some more regen flying out for Luna at this stage, just to try and keep her out on this lane a little longer and help out this farm. Really good harass out from the Windrunner. And mid lane, these two heroes are just sort of melee manning it up against each other here, and there are a few right clicks going off, nothing particularly special. Disruption out, hitting the hitting Rubik, and an instant Light Strike away, and Shadow Demon will get that with the Shadow Poison. Oh, it doesn't actually have any points in Shadow Poison, it was just the illusions from disruption there. Yeah, and there you go. And there we saw that stun Light Strike array just not missing. There's no chance to miss when there's a disruption up. Nyx Assassin coming in from the back, getting the kill on the laner, and he does impale the Shadow Fiend. Disruption on him will get Shadow Fiend out of danger, and there's a point up in Shadow Poison now, and those illusions pushing him back. Very, very good use of this roaming Nyx Assassin at level 8 now, so his Vendetta helping him get around behind these heroes, and they don't have any sentry wards up on this lane.
Oh, there's not many wards up on the map at all,
yeah,
actually.
They don't have many wards up at all, so yes, Tide are doing a pretty good job of making use of that Nyx in the mid there. And
okay, you're going to invade mode and punching all.
Beat down.
So this Windrunner, she's got her Arcane Boots up now already, giving her enough mana to just keep throwing those power shots out, getting the last hits, and Luna's decided she's had enough of this harassment. Stitch is going in, he's going to try and, he got the stun off and right click. Windrunner without, just enough mana to Windrunner raise, so she'll be fine.
And Nyx is back in the middle here. Magnus has gone bottom. He doesn't have enough mana to do his RP yet. He
does have a regen rune in his bottle though, so they might be looking for a good lineup and a bit of initiation on these heroes if they push forward. But they've got no vision, but they've realised that Mag is missing, so they are hugging their tower. They're not risking him jumping in, and he's realised that he'll TP back mid to get that farm. Pings are coming out there from the tower.
Now Nyx is looking to go bottom. Oh no, he's just coming around.
Alright, Luna flying out a magic wand. That might help her stay on lane a little bit more with the Windrunner. And nothing but a bottle and boots up on the Nyx. I'm going to get very confused with a Nyx and a Nate. That's going to be a tongue twister. Too early in the morning to have tongue twisters at this in this game.
But what else would you rather be doing at 1 o'clock on a Saturday night?
Well, sleeping springs to mind, but no, we're having a lot of fun down here at RFLAN, and there's been some really good games, so Glad that the organisers here have given us the chance to come down and that the sponsors of RFLAN actually put up all the prizes and make it worthwhile for all these gamers to come down and have a go.
Yeah, they seem to be running a very professional outfit. As I said, this is my first RFLAN, and yeah, I'm quite impressed with how the admin are doing it. You know, they've had a few network issues during the night, but they seem to have bounced back quite well.
A few pings coming out here, so this tri-lane, the defensive tri-lane, are feeling a little kill hungry perhaps. You've got Lena and Shadow Demon are not leaving Shadow Fiend's side. Zan getting plenty of farm up on this lane, and they don't want to risk him getting picked off. The Shadow Fiend is so squishy at this level, so he's still getting a good farm. But Nyx Assassin once again sneaking in through. They've got very, very little vision, but they should have spotted him out there. There is that ward.
They do have a sentry down in lane.
Coming out too, so they've got a sentry in lane, and they've seen him. They know he's sitting in here. They're not sure exactly where he is, but they know he came through, so they're just going to get back behind their 2 sentry wards and wait for him to get bored and perhaps move on. Yeah, there you go. So they've de-warded, they've realised they've seen him, and the disadvantage of reacting to a hero is the fact that they realise you can see them and they will de-ward, so a little bit of a standoff happening down here on the bottom lane, but there are 4 heroes coming in from Yes Tide. Good aggressive warding coming up from there, and Zan looks like he's going to try and make a fight of this.
Dire's mid tower won't last much longer.
Well, Magnus is looking to go top lane as well while this is all happening.
Perhaps realising that whilst all his heroes are down here trying to get a pick off on their Shadow Fiend, Luna's still up there just doing her thing. She's got a Ring of a Killer up, and she's up to 49 last hits now, so her farm's looking pretty good, even though she has been harassed back a fair bit. Sitting now above the Shadow Fiend in terms of last hits.
It's all very close still in the last hits. There's nothing's really pulled away just yet.
Yeah, we're looking at 1k experience and 1k gold, but it's going either way at the moment. There's nothing in it.
And there was the RP. There was an RP on one hero, but nothing is going to be happening for a while Nyx is in the middle lane. So why not pop it, get the kill, and
yeah, so he used both Skewer and RP for that hero, and it was a good kill for them. It interrupts their farm, and meanwhile, while the standoff is going off on the bottom, you're right. It's a good pick off for them, and yeah, probably worth using the RP on. Now Nyx has got a double damage rune, so he's going to come through here, drawing some pretty circles on the map there. They don't have any vision now because it's been de-warded, but Magnus saw him pick up that rune, so they know he's wandering around somewhere with a double damage rune.
And they don't have any vision at all in that little area. They've got the wards in lane, but...
And here we go, Yes Tide moving in now. Nyx wants to make use of this double damage rune. It's about to wear off. I don't think he's going to get the opportunity.
And they've seen him now, so they've done well to get back.
Yeah, and that's going to wear off on him now, so... Zan just using his razors to get a little bit of farm while the standoff's happening. The Lifesteal is still farming away, still keeping up. He's lost a little bit of room here, this lane, because they've been trying to commit so much to ganking these heroes, and he's not really getting the space to farm as much. But it looks like he's going to go for his Hand of Midas still, even though it's 13 minutes in.
It's a little bit slower than expected, but you know the game is going. It's going to turn out that way, so it doesn't matter that he's a little bit behind.
Lena just throwing a Dragon Slave out here, and Rubik's nearly, he's just hit level 5, so he'll be level 6 soon, be able to start being part of this fight. And Nyx is just chilling out in here. Oh, he's been spotted out by the Lena. He obviously thought he was in there. A little bit cheeky, but no disruption or stun to cause any problems for him, so gets out with a free card there. Meanwhile, Magnus is just right-clicking that tower. And Nyx has decided there's not much point messing around on that bottom lane anymore. Kithik's going back to the mid lane to play with Tucci. Does impale him, and he's going to right-click him. Doesn't really do any damage though. He's got 1k health now. He's tanky enough to just ignore Nyx if he's on his own, so not a problem there. And picks up a haste rune.
And Magnus looks like he's going to come around and try and get Luna from behind. But Nyx is also not too far So if you...
Oh, pings are out here. Nyx comes in. Skewer does hit Luna. She pops her ulti. That brings down the Magnus. Windrunner coming in, trying to pick up the mess, but Nyx is there invisible, and he will take down the Windrunner. That's a double kill up for Yes Tide there. And meanwhile, the Mexican standoff still continues on this bottom lane, but it's not really causing any problems for Zan's farm, so... very, very good pick off there from Yes Tide, taking out both the Windrunner and the Mag who was trying to get the gank on the Luna, and they might be able to put a lot of pressure on this tower now. Luna's building up her drums, they're about to fly out to her, and how do you feel about this aggressive trialing? Do you think it's working out for them? I mean, they are getting the pick-offs, but they haven't had anything for quite a while.
Yeah, Nyx is a little bit behind the Shadow Fiend. However, Nyx has got those couple of early ganks, so I feel as though it's still pretty even at this point. However, Shadow Fiend is doing quite a lot of damage. He does have his ulti, he's got a few souls in the bank. But that Nyx, you know, he's doing 400 bonus damage when he comes out of that Vendetta, plus the stun, so... And here we've seen the Nyx infested.
Heard an infest, yeah, so he's infested the Nyx. Nyx in the Nyx, there we go. There's a mouthful for you. And he's trying to get that pick off. If he can get that, it'd pale off on the Lena, but they probably heard it too, and the second they did, they were like, well, there's trouble coming. And they backed right out. So I didn't get his infest pick off, unfortunately. In fact, with this ward, they probably actually saw it all go down. There's a shockwave, just to confirm. Say, hey guys, we're here. Don't start anything. Shadow Demon, gonna just harass them back a little bit.
Taking hits.
They saw that Shadow Fiend sort of went away from the tower, so they thought they might be able to get some sneaky
Meanwhile,
hits.
Luna, a little bit out of position. She's gone past the tower to take up the creep wave, and Magnus has TP'd up to try and cause some trouble for her. She's just going to clear out those creeps with her drums there. She's a little tankier. And cycle through. Windrunner's now moved to the mid lane. And going to rotate bottom.
If she gets a good shackle shot on any of those squishy heroes, they're gone, because there's a follow-up stun from Lena or the disruption from Shadow Demon. But they've pinged that there's a ward there, so she's actually turned around and gone the other way. You can see they've marked on the map, the mini-map for where she should go.
Yep.
So even though they've seen the ward there, they know that the ward's there.
They know they've got this vision, and they've seen that Yes Tide are hanging around this area. They're de-warding, they're warding. They want control of this little chunk of the map, this little triangle, just so that they, one, don't get ganked, and two, Nyx can come in and gank. And there's a shackle flies out, doesn't latch. And Shadow Fiend trying to move in to follow up from that shackle, but it didn't actually work out for him, so they're just going to get a little bit of extra farm from this.
Radiant's mid tower's getting banged.
Meanwhile, Nyx is just in the middle, putting a bit of pressure on that mid tower, and we've got Magnus trying to get a good lineup for Skewer on the Luna. He might actually get it, perhaps not realise he's here. She stuns him out, and she does have her ulti up. Skewer's out of trouble. So,
he's going to find this.
He's going to hit her again, and one more stun.
Nyx coming from one side, Nyx coming from the other side, and Shadow Demon picked off Rubik in the bottom lane.
Disruption up on the life stealer as well there, so he couldn't actually do anything while that kickoff was going. So, JoY, that's a trade of a Rubik for a Magnus. Not the most even of trades for them. Although at this stage, still a trade, and a little bit of early game momentum. Anything they can get is good for them.
Top tower goes down. So they're running a little bit behind at the moment. Shadow Fiend is quite farmed, as well as Windrunner and Magnus. But they are behind on towers, only one. But they are behind on the levels. The XP is 3,000 the way of Yes Tide, and the gold's in favour of JoY.
Okay, so again, Hulkane has decided to not go for the Midas. He's actually just going to go straight for his armlet, which will help him a lot with those damage fights. So we see Luna's building towards a BKB, I believe. I think that's bits of it sitting on the courier there. Magnus putting a bit of pressure on that mid lane, but Nyx is going to TP straight back in to kind of balance it out. And Shadow Fiend still farming up on that bottom lane. He's got his Shadow Blade now, so this is where we see him start to come into play. Try and get those pickoffs and those ganks and punch out that damage that he can do.
And once he gets that 4th point in the Necromancy, he's doing an extra...
Oh, we have Luna coming down in here to the bottom lane. She's going to try and pull the creep wave aggro off. They might want to take this tower, and Windrunner is, Nyx is also in the party as well. So Shadow Fiend's going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Instant TPs from all of the support.
They can't afford for him to get killed off at this point.
Nothing now.
And
but Magnus took the middle lane while
stand-ups going
Guest side
down.
were busy.
Kithic's looking for an impale kickoff, and he's going to T-ward straight away. He doesn't want any of that. But the Shackle will hit, and he's going to get flashed to that tree. Laguna Blade comes out, and Shadow Fiend finishes him off with the last hit. Good kill for them, because Nyx Assassin can be so frustrating to kill later on in the game with that invisibility. So that sentry ward there, and throwing out the ulti from Lina, securing that kill.
Those extra souls, you know, bumping up to 70 additional damage, so he's doing the highest DPS at this point in the game.
Nyx with that armlet can perhaps start to play a bit of a role now. Shadow Fiend going in. Shackle goes out, doesn't hit. Needs some power shot too. Meanwhile, Luna should get a free tower in the mid here, although they do use the room to defend it, so they are looking to try and defend it. And skewer on her, but straight into her ulti, so Magnus on very low health, but she is out of position and stunned up. She's using her drum to get out of trouble, so she should be right to get out of that, and she's going to TP away to safety if they don't catch her, and she will be fine. She didn't get the tower though, and that's good for them. It isn't within deny range, but Magnus reacting there. And
he popped his ulti, she popped her ulti as well, so RP is gone for another 85 seconds.
Yep.
Ooh, somebody's cooking.
Shadow Fiend in a bit of trouble here. He's on his own now.
1 second till the Shadow Blade's up. Can he get it off?
Will he? No, he doesn't get his Shadow Blade off, but that death damage does do a lot, and Leshrak's very low. Got a little bit caught out there by both the creep waves and those two heroes.
He got a double kill out of it though, so, you know, it wasn't for nothing.
Yeah.
Some interesting ping 3 tower.
That is a little interesting. A little bit of late night communication perhaps. It's ping everywhere. And it is 1 AM now, is it? 1:30 in the morning here in Perth. So all the gamers have been down here since about 3 o'clock this afternoon. And everyone's probably a little sleepy, but has had lots of practice games to warm up. So should be some good Dota, maybe a little bit of obscure late night Dota as well. Windrunner trading a few blows with Nyx in the middle there, using Windrun out, and we've got the Lina Shadow Demon rotation there too. Meanwhile, they've left Shadow Fiend alone on this bottom lane, assuming he'll be fine with his Shadow Blade to get out of trouble. But Rubik has stolen a raise. Let's see how if he uses that just to get a little bit of gold, perhaps.
Taking hits.
It is the middle range raise, so Shadow Fiend can be stand a little bit further back and raise him. And we got Ascension of smoked in. Sorry, JoY smoked in.
JoY smoked in. Gonna try and get a pick off. There's a skewer and an RP. Only hits the Lifestealer. Disruption up. And a good Leshrac stun does hit 2 heroes. Impale's gonna take down the Shadow Demon. Another skewer on 2 heroes. Rubik steals the skewer, gives Magnus a taste of his own medicine, and Nyx is going to chase him down. He does have an Impale up, and that's going to hit. And 2 more right clicks, and that should drop him down. Oh, there he goes. He does go down, but the Shadow Fiend dealing so much damage. Trades the Nyx's life for his own friend's life. Meanwhile, Luna takes down a tower, and that last power shot.
Brilliant shackle shot. I'm sorry.
Power shot does take down the Luna, so
I think that should definitely go in the highlight reel.
Let's have a look at the XP graph after that. I think that we have a tower trade, we have a couple of kills, but that last kill off on the Luna and the Nyx, that definitely gave a big advantage towards JoY, and they're sitting above slightly, not much in it, 1k in the gold earned.
Guess what's happening?
And
bottom tower.
They've brought it back down from a nearly 4k XP lead down to about 2k. So some good fights there.
Shadow Fiend is getting quite powerful at this point. The Nyx Assassin is and the Luna are a couple levels higher, but he's dealing out a lot of damage.
And we have some little bit of friendly smack talk coming out from these teams in the middle there, keeping it light because these teams they're all Perth-based teams. They all scrim together, they land together. So it's nice to see them being I guess you could call it friendly. Maybe less than friendly. So there we have a Necrobook on the next, and he's going to try and sneak around and look for the Shadow Fiend, but Shadow Fiend's going for a stroll back to base.
Double damage.
No worries there, and Windrunner picking up a DD rune there. Lena's still looking pretty bare, as is Shadow Demon. They've just got their boots, wards and smoke. And Windrunner, sitting on 2k gold, has a mana boots and a Ring of Basilius from earlier on, and there's a smoke up. Shadow Fiend manning it up here with Magnus also will actually secure and die at the same time, and Shadow Fiend hiding in the trees. Power Shot's going to try and find out the next assassin. There is no ward there, so he should be able to... No, he's not going to get away from that. Leshrak stun does hit too. Nyx is going to drop down, and Shadow Fiend chasing down Leshrak. One last right click should do the trick, and there, that's another kill for him. So JoY getting a little bit more momentum now.
They turned that around. What looked like it was going to be a bit of a wipe there. The Magnus went down quickly, but you know the Shadow Fiend came in with a Shadow Blade, and
Lifesteal was up on the top lane that game, so they didn't have their sort of main damage dealer up there, or apart from Luna's jungling. So they had Luna and Lifestealer were not part of that fight. It was just the sort of support trying to go against most of JoY's team. Luna's going to TP in. The Shackle didn't actually latch then. That's a little bit interesting. I thought he had the lineup on that, but Shackle's a little iffy in Dota 2. And Luna's going to pop the BKB to try and man up against the Shadow Fiend. She's chasing him down. The right click should do it if she can catch him, but he's running pretty fast.
his Shadow Blade is 1 second away.
And gets that kill on him. And they're going to chase down the wind-running Rubik is going to try and block this Windrunner. Picks up the illusion rune to block her even more. So there's a lot of block going on, but good Shackle Shot. Hits both the Leshrak and the Luna who are chasing her down. She's on an inch of her health though, and one telekinesis drops her back into range. And all of those right clicks, I think there were 3 right clicks simultaneously coming out. Luna getting the final pick off there. And Nyx is hunting. He's looking for this poor little Shadow Demon, but Prince of Oz has gotten away to safety back to his tower, and
Now this Shadow Demon, he's got his Massive Magnus, his Shadow Blade, and his Massive Madness, not Magnus, and his treads. What does he go for next? He's got 3.5k in the bank.
Very good question. I would like to see him, I don't know, build up a little bit more tankiness, but perhaps he'll just go for a really raw damage item build there.
Radiant's bottom tower ain't a pretty sight right
he can still get picked off very easily though, so that is part of the problem. He can't do much in a fight if he's dead, so I'd like to see him get a BKB perhaps.
Yeah, imagine he'll go for his BKB first, and then possibly a Deso or some other... Oh, they've smoked up here.
That's a smoke up. Now I'm not sure if that ward there would have caught the smoke pup. I didn't see how far back they smoked. And they've actually got a sentry ward here, so they would have seen that smoke, and yeah, they were all pushing right back to mid lane. They don't want to borrow that. The Shadow Fiend will just go down and farm the bottom lane. He's not too fast. Meanwhile, Windrunner has her mech up, and on the top lane, and Lifestealer still just sitting with phase boots and an armlet, and getting a little bit of free time up on that top lane, but not much. Windrunner's still harassing him down a fair bit.
Oh,
he just
RP.
ran out of Maelstrom, so there we go. RP in the middle didn't turn around into a fight, but we do have a disruption. Nyx Assassin chasing down the Shadow Demon. One more right click and he will drop down.
So that Rubik just got away with next to no health. Shadow Fiend's gone in with a double damage and his Shadow Blade.
The Dire might want to mine their top tower.
And he's just been dusted. And there comes out the
ulti. Dusted, and the Luna ulti, and there, one last right click, and Nyx Assassin actually picking up the last right click there, although poor Luna did do much of that damage, but sharing the love between the team, and we've got a Maelstrom up on the Lifestealer, so he's been off farming, he hasn't been part of these last 2 or 3 engagements, so yes, Tide have had a slightly harder time of it with him gone. Shackle and Skewer RP hits 3 heroes. Oh, there we go. The tower damage jumping in there too. Infest into the Luna, trying to do a little bit more damage, but Luna's going to go down, and the chase is on for Lifestealer. Armlet toggling to try and stay alive, but one last power shot, and he will go down too. So that's the 2 hard carries from Yes Tide dropping down. on that mid lane there.
That just shows you the power of Magnus's RP. It's quite possibly one of the most game-turning spells in the game.
And this is why we see Magnus banned out in the early game.
That's a perfect example of why you see Magnus banned out.
And these heroes are down for a while. Luna's down for 45 seconds still, so they're going to push up this mid lane. Maybe try and take this tower. Shadow Fiend has just come back up alive. At least give it a little bit of momentum and do some damage to it before those heroes can come out and defend it. They do have a glyph to use, I believe. Yep, no, glyph is down, so they can't. They are going to defend it though, and so JoY realised they had the advantage of the situation, but they're not going to push their luck, and quite wisely pulling back here.
And there's that BKB up on the Shadow
Fiend.
Yeah.
And hopefully a little tankier now. He can pop that if he does get the gank off by Luna there and survive her cannon. And,
he's just going to build up those souls, so he's doing a little more damage.
Yeah. And we have a level 2 Necro book up on Nyx Assassin too. I haven't actually seen the Necro units come out yet. Maybe just missing them in all the chaos, but that'll definitely help them push down. They've already got three tier 1 towers and 1 tier 2 tower from JoY's side, sitting on 3 tier 2 towers themselves. Nick's going to use his illusions to de-ward in the middle there.
And he's teleporting back to stop that Shadow Fiend, basically.
Yeah, now Shadow Fiend's looking pretty good on the farm, but he's fairly much even with Luna, a little bit higher, or probably about 2k gold higher. Windrunner is above the Lifestealer at this stage, which you don't usually see. We've had a safe lane Lifestealer who's now in the jungle trying to catch up. But Wamburger with his Windrunner, I think this might be his hero of choice. He did a good job in the farming Windrunner earlier, and he's clearly impressing us again with that.
And knowingly or not, this Shadow Fiend has actually walked out of a possible 4-on-1 ganker tab there. They have no vision, so there's no way that he could have seen them coming, but he's lucked out, I think.
He's got Dendy senses, perhaps, and maybe, hopefully they're not stream cheating. I do have a 2-minute delay, so one would hope that they are not picking up on that. I wasn't looking there anyway, so I find that unlikely. It's probably just very good map awareness there. Luna's going, she's got a Yasha, so her Manta style shouldn't be too far away. She's just farming up the Ancients for that gold, and the glaives help her melt through them pretty easily there.
Creep farming is quite easy for her. She's a little bit behind the Shadow Fiend still, but she's actually caught up a fair bit. He was ahead of her a while, but he's been killed early on in a couple of those team fights, so...
And there's a smoke up by Yes Tide on the middle, and there was no wards watching them, so this time their smoke might actually pay off, and they're looking for that Shadow Fiend. They know he was down here farming that lane, but he's decided to go back to base anyway, so a little bit of good timing there. Another lucky escape for him.
He was pinging Roshan, so he might have thought that they've smoked to do Roshan. And until they show themselves...
Yeah, and they're going to realise there's no one here. Luna's going to get a little bit of farm on that bottom lane. Meanwhile, JoY just decided to push mid. They don't actually know where these heroes are, but they're going to have a go at pushing mid anyway. Pings are coming out now. They've seen the Luna on the bottom lane. And looking to go and get the pick off on her. Leshak's going to TP out. And they're going to do the same journey that Yes Tide just did through their own jungle. So
Nakes is still up on this top lane farming. He's nearly got enough money for that Hyperstone. I imagine he's going to be building into a Mjolnir.
Mjolnir? The worst item in the game, simply because no one can pronounce it.
Mjolnir, as the movie Thor called it. Mjolnir.
I like that movie. It's a good movie.
You just like Chris Hemsworth, I imagine.
Yes, that could be why. Skewer and Arthur's on the Nyx, and he gets shackled to a tree, so even though he's impaled those heroes, they are going to... Everything went out there. There was a Laguna Blade, there was right-click damage. They are so angry. They just did not want that Nyx Assassin getting out of there. And that was that really good ward just here. It's about to time out, but it was enough for them to see it and for the Magnus to grab him. So good pick off for JoY there. And bringing the XP slowly back in their favour. And the gold is sitting essentially dead even at this stage. So this could be anyone's game, and this is a best of 3. So JoY come into this with a 1-game advantage, and if they take this game, they will win our grand final for RFLAN. But Yes Tide are definitely putting up a very solid effort fight. Smoke popped out there, perhaps thinking Shadow Fiend's lurking around trying to cause trouble.
And here we go, the open wounds on
on the Shadow Fiend, but they're all backing off. The Shackle Shot didn't latch. TP in from Luna, but she gets hit straight away by the Light Struck Array. Pipe will be popped on JoY's team, and Leshrac just giving themselves a little bit of vision there.
Still no BKB pop from Shadow Fiend, which is very good. You know, people get a bit trigger happy with the BKB when they get opened on, but you know, he's done well.
And he's holding it off there. Now Lifestealer's jumped inside Luna, and she's still got her BKB up too, so she can jump in with a Lifestealer inside her. No, he's just decided to jump out. Oh wow, RP hits them both, and Luna's ulti's gonna take down Mag, but not before Lifestealer drop. Shadow Fiend BKB manning up to the task, right clicking down Nick's assassin, and he's going to Luna now. Leshrac's stun hits 3 of them, but Laguna Blade going there does take out the Rubik. So that's a 1-for-3 trade.
Here they get the tower as well.
JoY, and they will have no problem taking down this tower.
They popped the glyph. It probably wasn't really worth it at this point, you know. It's only denying the inevitable.
Yeah, it doesn't really slow them down taking the tower, and now they don't have the glyph to defend this tier 3 tower. I mean, they're not going to take it, but they might look to do a little bit of damage of it. They still have Leshrac there, of course, doing a lot of damage. Windrunner using the ult to try and put a chunk into that tower, but Luna TPing and getting Light Struck arrayed again. That Lena with the timing on that stun. And I have a Luna and a Lena. I have a Nyx and a Nyx and a Luna and a Lena. These guys are just trying to trip me up. It's deliberate. They didn't do their picks and bans for the game. They did it to trip up the casters at 1:45 in the morning. Not cool. And we have a Shadow Demon and a Shadow Fiend. So there's no hope. It's a lost cause. We have 4k gold sitting up on the Shadow Fiend now, and he's still merrily farming away. Lifesteal on that Mask of Madness means he can just hang out in lane as long as he wants to farm, so no problems there. Nyx sitting now, he doesn't have a lot more other than his Necro book. He's having a slightly harder time of it now. They've been very good reacting to him and dropping out the sentry wards.
If you actually look around the map, there is a million wards on the map. Kids watching at home. This is what you do to win Dota games. You play wards.
You put wards down. If only the people I play with in pubs would see this. Wards everywhere. Stats items don't win games. BKB doesn't win games. Wards win games. We have the Hyperstone up on Lifestealer, and yeah, so he's going to finish off his Mjolnir.
Oh no, he's
not.
AC. He's got the chainmail.
Oh yes, he does have the AC there. So going for a little bit more tankiness, perhaps, realizing that Shadow Fiend is putting out a crap load of damage, and he's going to need something to survive that more than just the rage. Luna charging around. She's got a Manta style up, and that's going to help them push more and more, push these lanes out. If they can get a little bit of space, they can melt through those towers with her glaives and her illusions there.
The Shadow Fiend has just bought a Demon Edge.
Oh, here's trouble.
And actually, and a Chrysalis. So there you go. He looks like he's going to go straight for the Daedalus. He's already doing a lot of damage, and yeah, you know, add the Daedalus crit to that. He's quite tanky.
He's tanky and he's putting out a lot of damage. But on the flip side, there's pings going out around Roshan here, and nobody has buyback at this stage. So a little risky just outright buying those items. But perhaps he'll have enough time to farm out and get his buyback before they decide to do Rosh. There's sentry wards all around Rosh here as well from Yes Tide. They don't want them sneaking in and taking that Roshan. And we nearly have a mech up on the Leshrac. What else have we got? Luna, still just with the Manta style and boots. Bottom lane here we have Windrunner and Pipe and mech up on the Windrunner. So giving so much defensibility to the JoY team. Good old Shadow Demon's got his boots and wards. And, looks like a... Well, what have we got here on the Magnus? He's got his Blink Dagger. Oh, a little bit of background noise coming out here. I think we've got some there's some console games finals happening over in the corner.
Halo 4, I believe.
Halo, is it? Okay. Luna trying to get the pick off on the Shadow Demon, but he's got his Shadow Blade, so Shadow Fiend. Too many shadows.
And once
Anyway,
again,
he's out of trouble.
Once again, he didn't pop his BKB, so they could be just trying to milk the BKB out of him, but he's done well.
Yeah.
Two ultis in a row on him, and
It's very easy to panic too with that BKB, and you want to save those charges as long as you can.
you know, he's still got 9 seconds on it, so... And here he goes in on this Luna.
Oh, and the right click damage, she does pop her BKB straight away, and that's fair enough because he's doing so much damage, but he in turn is going to pop his. Can't quite chase her down, she's going to get it. Oh, he's going to tower dive it, pops the Shadow Blade to try and get the speed up. One last right click does get a skewer on a Laguna Blade. Poor Leshrac just gets obliterated by the supports who thought they would come in and hang out with Shadow Fiend diving that tower there. So that's a 2 pick off there. Luna did buy back. Potentially thinking that fight was going a little bit longer than it did. That buyback there ran to go back into the fight, but it was already over. They got their pickoffs and they were out of there, and they're going to look to maybe rotate down to Roshan at this point.
Nakes is chasing his Windrunner here. No, are they looking to try and get a save on her? She got no mana. Oh no,
she's got mana boots, so she'll be able to pop Windrun too. And they've seen this rotation, they've seen the wards up, so they know trouble is coming, and they're getting out of there as quick as they can. Shadow Fiend just charging along, looking for that pick off.
You know, adding this in power from Magnus onto him, you know, he's doing a lot of extra damage. You know, you can see here he's doing nearly 400 damage per hit. So.
There we go. Refresher up on the mag. So that's not 1 RP, but 2.
So there's a Necro book being popped. I haven't seen it before, but that seems to be the first time he's used it.
Yeah, she uses it, and they polished off that Lena illusion, causing a little bit of problems. So JoY really want this tier 2 tower here. They're looking to fight it and get the good jump in. They haven't got the refresher up on Mag yet. It's sitting over there in his stash. Disruption up on the Luna. BKB Shadow Fiend. He pops his ulti. No, he cancels it. Good cancellation there because the disruption ended. One more light kick, and she's going to go down.
2 down.
And this Shadow Fiend is just doing a lot of damage. He's doing 400 damage per hit. He's got the crit. He's got the lifesteal from the Mask of Madness. He's got his BKB, Shadow Blade for the escape. He's going to be hard to stop.
He's going to be hard to stop at this stage. And looking at the net worth, he is sitting on 20k. So Luna behind, maybe too far behind, hard to say. Tower diving into their base at this stage to get that kill on the Leshrac. And we've got both Luna and Lifestealer down. So they're going to look to take this tower.
Here's this Nyx. He's just killed the Lena.
Oh, pick up from the back there, so jumping in from the side. But now he's on the run. Shockwave will miss. And he's just trying to get out of there as fast as he can.
Magnus has his refresher orb recipe in his stash, so...
Yeah, so he hasn't got that up yet. It's just sitting there in his stash. He does blink in. Chucks that in power onto the Shadow Fiend and right-clicking down. Look how fast that barracks is dropping down.
Bottom rags didn't make it.
Even with Lifestealer up, there's not much they can really do at this stage. They are just trying to harass them back, slow them down a little bit, but they can't really defend this at this stage, and they don't have Glyph up to do so either.
Shadow Fiend's pinged Roshan. There's still a little bit of vision on there. There's a Hazer in there as well, but I don't know if they can get to him and get him done before Yes Tide, sorry, catch up.
They might decide to take it anyway. I mean, they do have the ability to take a team fight. Lifestealer is putting out a bit of damage with that his Maelstrom up there, but there's going to be a smoke, so they are going to try and catch them at it. But
their bat sensors were tingling.
Yeah, their spidey sensors.
Sorry, that's the one. Yeah.
Bat sensors.
Bat sensors.
Apparently, the bat sensors were tingling.
The bat phone was calling. How about that one?
That one works. We had a Batman lingering around the LAN earlier, so maybe that's it. So that smoke. I'm not sure they were close enough to this ward for the puff to have been seen, but either way, they decided Roche was probably not the best idea for them right now. Back to farming, back to pushing out these lanes. Got the courier heading over to the secret shop there, and it looks like someone is picking up their butterfly. And that is Shadow Fiend's butterfly. So once again, he is going to be very, very hard to bring down. And now he's got his butterfly coming out, and we've got the refresher on Mag. they're feeling pretty good about taking this fight, and I'm not really sure Yes Tide can take it. They're going to scout out with the next assassin, but Roshan drops before you can blink. Zan with the problem he doesn't have enough slots to take the Aegis, so Tucci will decide to pick up the Aegis there.
So Magnus has the refresher, he's got the Aegis. He can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, he can, and I mean, part of Magnus is really a walking RP. He leaps in, uses RP, no one cares if he dies after that, really. But at this stage, he can go in, he can die, come alive, use RP again, and use Refresher and use it again. So
There's an indication of how much damage Shadow Fiend's doing. He 2-hit Nate's down to half health,
Yeah.
so...
There's a shackle shot on 2 heroes, but they're... Oh, we are blinking. RP hits them both. Luna ulti goes out. He's going to drop down Magnus and blow the Aegis. But Shadow Fiend's right-click damage. Luna's not going to get away. Rubik drops before you can even blink. And they're going to turn onto this tower and melt through.
And the GG call.
And that's the GG call. 44-minute GG call. JoY turning the game around. They started off right on their back foot, but got a little bit of room on their Shadow Fiend, and we were excited about that Shadow Fiend pick. They told us it was going to be good, and lived up to its promise. Great work to Yes Tide Hunter coming through to the grand final of RFLAN. There were a couple of tough teams in the pro bracket. A little bit of a shame we only have cancellation of the RP there. A little bit of a shame we only had one game, but very, very well played out.
Congratulations,
Good job,
JoY.
JoY. Congratulations to JoY. They are the winners of RFLAN for this LAN, RFLAN 43. And we might jump down to a amateur bracket game in a little while. We'll just have a drop stream very, very quickly. And yeah, see if there's another game we can cast up. But congratulations to JoY. Thanks for casting the grand final with me, Axis, and the pro
Thanks for
bracket.
having me.
And it's been good. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the cast and enjoyed watching these Australian teams play it out in LAN. And wow, we've got 18 viewers. I think that's a peak for RFLAN Dota. So yeah, good job, everyone. And hang around. There should be some more Dota games coming up soon.